Let's talk about this tax confusion with New York's Democratic Governor, Andrew Cuomo. He signed an executive order last week allowing residents in his state to prepay their property taxes before the end of the year. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning. Good to be with you, Allison.
Great to have you, Governor. Why are you allowing New Yorkers to pay their 2018 tax bill early?
Well, look, as you said in the previous piece, this bill was rushed through Congress and the Senate. It is a bait and switch. They sold it as we're going to help the middle class. It wound up being a benefit for the rich and the rich corporations. They hope the rich corporations will then give it to the workers as a matter of their largesse. But if they actually wanted to raise wages for workers, they would have said in the bill, the corporation is going to get a tax cut, but they must give it to the workers. So it was all a bait and switch. It's all a marketing ploy. One of the really devilish things in the bill is they then eliminate the deductibility of state and local taxes, which sounds like a mouthful. But what it says is, up until now, over 100 years, you paid a state tax, you paid a local tax, you deducted that from your federal tax. They're eliminating that. So you're now paying two taxes. You pay a tax to the state or tax to the local government, and then the federal government taxes that tax.
Yeah.
It happens to occur coincidentally on only blue states.
And that's what I want to ask you about.
Only Democratic states.
Because, Governor, you've called this an economic civil war, and I know that's what you're touching on. So what are you trying to say?
The Senate has no senators from Democratic states, blue states. This tax provision hits the blue states by eliminating the state and local tax deductibility and uses that money to finance the tax cut in the red states. So this is the most partisan, divisive legislation we've seen.
So it's payback, you think, for the blue states not voting for the president?
Look, there's always politics in crafting of legislation. But this was an egregious, obnoxious. What the Senate was saying is because we have no senators from the blue states, we don't care. So let's pillage the blue to give to the red. That's never been done in this nation before. That's partisan politicking over any semblance of good government. And by the way, you want to hurt New York? You want to hurt California? They're the economic engines. How are you going to grow the economy after you put a dagger in the heart of New York and California? It's all politics all the time.
So how does New York fight back? What do you plan to do about this?
Well, they are challenging our structure of our tax code. We're going to propose a restructuring of our tax code. I'm not even sure what they did is legal and constitutional, and that's something we're looking at now.
What does that mean? Why wouldn't it be legal to change the tax code?
You can change the tax code. You can't penalize my state because of its political affiliation. There's never been a double taxation before in the history of the nation. So there are legitimate grounds. Now, if they own the courts, it might be harder. And ultimately, Allison, look, there's democracy. And people know what happens. You look at your pieces. You have thousands of people lining up on a holiday weekend to prepay their taxes. Do you think they're going to forget? Do you think they don't understand what has happened here? They know exactly what has happened. And they're going to remember because you're hurting them right in their pocketbook. Democracy ultimately works. And maybe it worked for the Senate because they don't have any Democratic senators in these states, which is the epitome of political arrogance. But there are Republican congressmen. There's a Republican president who has to run in these states. And these people are not going to forget.
Okay. Governor Andrew Cuomo, great to see you. Happy New Year.
If I might add, Allison, the show has been especially good over the past few days. I don't know exactly what it is, but there's a lightness and a joy to it that really is remarkable.
Wow, thank you for that. I don't know what it is either, Governor, but I knew you were going to get in a comment about the missing Cuomo brother.